Long before he was Prime Minister, Stephen Harper's Reform Party went to court, demanding access to Jean Chrétien's agenda book. Now, more than 10 years later, the Supreme Court has finally ruled the agendas of top politicians are top secret and off limits to the public. The Information Commissioner fears of eroding transparency on Parliament Hill.
The amount of information that's being disclosed is in decline, has been in significant decline since the 2000s.
The court upheld the law that says prime ministers, cabinet, and senior staff notes, emails, and documents are exempt from access to information.
If there's something the government doesn't want to get out, that's a place where they can work on it and put it and shield themselves from public scrutiny. So that's definitely a problem.
Public scrutiny is what launched the court challenge. The Reform Party wanted then Prime Minister Chrétien's briefing books to see what he knew of the RCMP's actions at the Asia-Pacific Summit in Vancouver. But now, with all briefing books forever under wraps, some warn Canadians will be kept in the dark.
We'll see more waste, more corruption, and more ill health, and more other things because we won't know what we can get.
But the court warned its decision shouldn't be used to create a black hole of information or lead to the wholesale hiding of records in ministerial offices. Critics think otherwise.
I think that Canadians should be seriously concerned that these meetings take place and that in this instance, the only records of some of those meetings are no longer accessible.
Now, the Information Commissioner says the easiest way to make these books public is to change the law. But the Prime Minister's office says that's not about to happen. Lloyd.
Well, Richard, complaints about too much secrecy in Ottawa go back before the time of Jean Chrétien, certainly. So is today's decision by the Supreme Court going to make it even more difficult to get government information?
Yes, I believe it will. Basically, look at the history of information flowing from the halls of Parliament. It's made the Information Commissioner's job much more difficult. It's been slowed down to a trickle. Now, the Commissioner does have the power to investigate those who refuse to hand over information, but certainly this makes it much more difficult for her. But supporters of this court ruling will say, hey, look at the WikiLeaks cables and the damage that's caused to the international diplomatic community. They say there is a need to keep some documents secret, particularly when you're dealing with senior ministers and the Prime Minister of Canada.
Sounds like it's a matter of striking a balance then. Thank you, Richard.